You've got to shoot this bit, Margaret! You've got to shoot it!
Snow bombing in Mayor Orphan.
They play Monopoly.
Zermatt Unplugged.
Very no shit, Sherlock.
Black Eyed Peas in Ishkal.
Or go to the pub.
Caprice in Crom Montana.
On the Brecon Beacons.
The Altitude Comedy Festival in Mayor Orphan.
Bond Street is Crom Montana.
Long après ski sessions, Rob.
And Oxford Street is Aspen. Though if I'm going to start springing daffodils, then I will have a serious concern about my health, I think.
So welcome to the 18th edition of the Way Out podcast. Season 2 is far from over, but this is a special edition of the podcast talking about skiing in the spring. And I'm, of course, as usual, joined by my fabulous co-host, the spring-like disposition, daffodil springing man himself. It's Rob Stewart. How are you, Rob?
Yeah, I'm really well, Dom. Although if I'm going to start springing daffodils, then I will have a serious concern about my health, I think. Yeah, I live quite close to Wales. In fact, there's snow on the Brecon Beacons today. But even they don't actually grow them as body parts, I believe.
Well, it was
those lovely Welsh people.
Supposed to be a compliment, Rob. It's supposed to be referring to your sunny disposition as we're talking about spring night skiing.
Ah, I see. Okay, fair enough.
Well, by the looks of things, the spring conditions are going to be snowier than the winter ones in the Alps.
Yeah, that's true. But before we go into that, can I have another rant about something, please?
Rob, you've never asked if you can rant before, so go ahead. What are you ranting about?
Okay. Yesterday, I received a press release titled Ski Holidays Without Snow. Monopoly or head to the pub?
All right, yeah. Okay.
Which came from an insurance company. I'm not going to name the PR firm that sent it or the insurance company. That's fine. But the release went on to say that because there's basically no snow anywhere, right? That's what they're suggesting.
Right.
They did a survey and people responded, apparently, saying that they play Monopoly or go to the pub when there's no snow.
Okay, so this is the summer then they must be talking about rather than this winter.
Right. Well, no. They're suggesting that there's no snow now, and that is what people are doing.
Okay.
Then also suggest there's been a huge spike in accidents, based, I should say, on one article that they put forward from a Grenoble hospital, saying they've been busy over the peak weeks of the season. I mean, sorry, no shit, Sherlock. I didn't see any real data on that to back that article up. It was just a sort of anecdotal thing. We're busy. We're busy.
No surprise it came from an insurance company. So what I guess, what is their point then, Rob? What are they trying to say? Don't forget to insure yourself, basically.
Sure. I mean, to get their insurance mentioned. And I mean, good luck to them. That's fine. Insurance is really important.
Mm-hmm.
But they also then say that because skiers are having to go to higher altitudes to get snow, in some cases, this could invalidate their insurance.
Oh, wow. So you've got to tell your insurance company that you're actually going to go slightly further up the mountain than the resort level. Is that right? I mean, what kind of height are they talking about?
Well, exactly. And they don't say that. Are they saying that their policies say, be careful because if you go skiing over an altitude of 2,000 meters, you might get into trouble? I mean, I've never quite heard anything so stupid. So anyway, I sent them a very ranty email back and they haven't responded to that yet.
I think you're going to need to let that one go, Rob. And you know what these companies are like? They like to be a bit creative with the press release. I guess in the end of the day, what they're looking for is for us to write a story about them. I mean, you know about that as much as anyone else.
Yeah, true. And I sort of commend them for their the fact that they're trying to be creative here. I just think their knowledge has been a bit exposed. They would have been better off taking an advert in your magazine, Dom, telling skiers how important ski insurance actually is. I mean, Monopoly, oh my God. Right,
Rob. Let's get you off your soapbox. Leads us nicely into talking about skiing in the springtime, which is also often misunderstood. So we could take that Monopoly theme, create a skiing Monopoly board of resorts. So you might want to choose to go during the springtime and rank them in the value they might sell for an interested party. The valuable Monopoly board places with the valuable resort places. What do you reckon?
That is a great idea, Dom. Let's do that then. I mean, it reminds me that I once had a fun conversation that basically linked ski resorts with Monopoly board places. So for example, Sloane Square is Verbier, Bond Street is Crom Montana, and Oxford Street is Aspen for whatever reasons.
I've got a feeling we're going to end up with a lot of resorts that don't like us. We should have been Sloane Square. We should have been Bond Street.
Yes,
we're definitely Park Lane. Were they not Park Lane?
Well, I mean, let's have a play around with it and see what we get to. There might be some hidden gems there, or places that people don't maybe associate with the blingiest places in London. But we could have a play with that.
Yeah,
But actually, first we've got to break down some of the myths and also talk about what we mean by springtime skiing as well.
Absolutely. Time to mention today's sponsor, Ski Independence and Canada's Alberta. So the team at Ski Independence have been sending customers to Alberta ski resorts for almost 30 years. With oodles of personal experience, they know all about the best places to stay, the best travel options, and everything in between. From Banff's best après-ski locations to breathtaking scenery at Lake Louise, or how to get the best out of a multi-centre itinerary. They highly recommend road tripping up the spectacular Icefields Parkway between Lake Louise and Jasper for an experience like no other. So, listeners, go ahead and visit ski-i.com/Alberta to find out more about booking Canada's Alberta with tailor-made specialists, Ski Independence. Well, we might think of springtime as March, which technically I suppose it is, and it also happens to be one of the best times to go skiing in the Alps, and it definitely has been over the last few years when we've had that later snow. But really, in the Alps, it should still be winter-like, and historical snow records show that, especially above 1,300 meters, March is the time when the snow is pretty much at its deepest. So, time.
Yeah, like we said, it's looking like this March should be the best time to go skiing this winter, right?
Yeah, well, snow's falling in the Alps. Looks like colder temperatures are set in, so colder than it has been anyway. But when we're talking about real spring skiing, we're actually talking probably more like April time and even into May in some places. So March is a busy time for British skiers, and they like to go after the peak school holidays week. So March is pretty normal for many skiers, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, March is great. But when you speak to people that don't ski, they tend to think that the ski season is done and dusted by like even the start of March. But of course, we know that isn't the case at all.
No, absolutely. Well, let's take a look at some of the destinations that we mean by spring skiing, because we've recently just done a spring skiing feature. So hopefully that will help us as well. And by that, I guess we're going to talk late March and into April, with the Easter holidays being the obvious 2-week slot that many people need to slot into.
Yeah, it's worth saying that the Easter school holidays are in no way nearly as busy as the February holidays, not even close. And prices are, generally much cheaper too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And Easter being relatively early this year in 2024, and the weather forecast for March looking colder than February, could be quite a bumper time to go.
Yeah, so I picked up on this recent article by Patrick Thorne in your magazine, Dom, In the Snow, just published about spring skiing. So we can hook it to that. And if any listeners want to check that out, just go to inthesnow.com, and there's a link on the homepage to the article, Where is Best to Ski This Easter?
What a great title. The first thing to mention is the longer daylight hours. That's great. Clocks go forward at the end of March, and it means long après ski sessions, Rob. What do you think of that? In the sunshine.
Yeah, it's my favourite time of the season, that's for sure. Of course, it is often snowing in April as well, especially these days with the kind of some of those changing weather patterns that we're getting. You can be skiing some of the best powder of the season in April.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's when ski touring really comes into its own as well. Think of the classics such as the Oak Route from Chamonix to Zermatt. Best done in the late season, right?
Yeah, absolutely. April and May, great times for that. And just ski touring in general, right? With longer daylight hours. I think that's one of the reasons. Longer daylight hours and an accumulation of snow.
Yeah.
Lots of snow high up. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you've got the festivals too. You've got Snow Bombing in Mayor Orphan, the 8th to the 13th. You've got Zermatt Unplugged, 9th to the 13th. Black Eyed Peas in Ischgl on April the 30th. Caprice in Crans-Montana over 2 weekends, end of March and the start of April. And then, of course, there's the long-standing Altitude Comedy Festival that I love in Mayor Orphan again this year, April the 1st to the 5th. So loads of very cool events going on.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yes, Dom, so this week's Weather Roundup is brought to you by Ski Weekends, the flexible ski holiday experts. Choose from 10 fantastic catered chalets and over 100 hotels in 40 resorts. You can stay as long as you like with skiweekends.com.
So, Rob, it has been a pretty all over the place couple of weeks in regards to the weather, hasn't it? Because obviously we've had some big temperatures, we've had a bit of rain, we've had all sorts, haven't we?
All sorts. That's the thing with this winter. We've had all sorts. And that includes quite a lot of snow in places and powder, as well as rain and hard packed slopes. We have had it all this season, that's for sure. Yeah.
I've just literally, as we've been talking there, I've just had a video come in from a pal of mine who is driving out of Mayororphan, and he
Yeah.
said, "Dom, we've had to leave before the car gets stuck." And the snowflakes, Rob, I mean, honestly, it's been sometimes I've seen snowflakes. He said they're like golf balls coming down and hitting the car. So,
Yeah.
Mayor right now, Friday 23rd, big snow coming in there, and I'm sure some
Yeah.
localized areas around that area too. So that's pretty great news.
Yeah, I've been speaking to the Salbach tourist office this morning, and they're experiencing exactly the same thing today.
Oh,
Big
wow.
snowfalls. I've been told in Carinthia, because I'm heading there in just over a week, that it's snowing heavily there as well. So Austria are getting it, but across the other side of the Alps, literally, had an email today from Leger. Snow is in the village again. So and more to come over the weekend. And then I saw pictures on social media from Morzine. Obviously relatively low resort, Morzine,
Yeah.
and there's snow in town as well. So it's snowing down to a low level now.
Oh, wow.
It
That's pretty good,
started as
isn't it?
rain. It started as rain, and there was a bit of social media yesterday. That's Thursday, the 22nd of February, sort of suggesting there's rain down in resort level, places like the Clusaz, Saint Gervais. But that has now turned to snow, and so that it's colder temperatures. I don't think those cold temperatures are going to last forever. It is going to warm up a little bit again next week, but we're not going to see the sort of higher spring-like temperatures that we had for the last couple of weeks. And there is more snow in the forecast coming through as well. So, yeah, it's
Very
good
good.
news.
Yeah, it is good news. And I know that I've got a message from Dan at Ski Weekends, who is our snow report sponsor. And he said,
Yeah.
exciting news as it's been snowing the past couple of days, just a little, then 20 centimeters last night in Avoriaz. That's good news for Avoriaz. And
Nice.
as you've mentioned, Leger and Morzine will benefit from that as well.
Yeah.
He said, our chalet teams are also excited to get out today, and we've already had videos of them cruising the powder off piste in Courchevel this morning. So that's also good. So, yeah,
Nice.
you were in Courchevel last week. You said conditions were pretty good up high and that it could do with a
Yeah.
top up. So there you go. There's the top up.
There you go.
What else have we got there? Conditions across France are holding up, considering it's been half term. And in truth, there hasn't been that much snow in the past few weeks. But half term was busy and the snow has returned over the last week. So yeah, sounding pretty good.
To be fair, Dan says there hasn't been snow in the past few weeks, but we had 15 centimeters of snow a week and a half ago when we were in Courchevel at the beginning of the week.
Right.
So actually, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
He's also saying, I can see the report here. He's, in Avoriaz, while the snow has been a bit soft, significant drop in temperature.
Yeah.
Has consolidated the base, and with over 20 centimeters of fresh snow on top, it's pretty good all the way down to the resort level.
Yeah.
And goes on to talk about the Port Soleil lower resorts that struggled in the past few weeks, and anything below 1400 meters has been largely artificial. And I saw that. That's true. Anything below 1400 is artificial, but this cold temperature means they're making snow again. Down below, and the new snow is making it feel a lot fresher, of course, and the same in Leger.
Good stuff. Well, definitely, listeners, keep a look out on inthesnow.com. We do a regular blog that's updated weekly on where is best to ski now. We've also got our spring skiing update, which we're talking about today as well. So, yeah, plenty of news there, and we'll have a full snow roundup next week, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. What's next?
Okay, so let's take a look at where else we should be looking at over Easter and beyond. There's obviously there's some obvious options out there, going high, glacier resorts, and also, heading north to Scandinavia as well.
Yeah, I mean, Norway's definitely an option. Their resorts stay open through April, and they even had great snow for, this time of year in April. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Norway's had a good season, underreported in my opinion, and snow will likely be in decent shape through April. I mean, I'm looking possibly to head to Hafjell mid-April, just a couple of hours train journey from Oslo, Gardermoen Airport.
Right. Yeah, no, that sounds great. So,
easy to get to.
Yeah. Definitely. So let's take a look at some of our Monopoly board spring skiing destinations then, Rob. What are you going to start with?
Right. Okay. I'll start with you then, Dom. Okay, here we go. I'll give you an easy one. Park Lane.
You know what? How did I knew you were going to choose Park Lane and not Old Kent Road? So the blingy
Lucky
one, the
you.
one with the 5-star hotels, the car showrooms, and views of the fabulous Hyde Park. I
Yeah.
guess it's got to be Zermatt. What do you reckon? It's high altitude. Glaciers open until May the 1st, and the main skiing area is open until April 21st. So it's got it all to offer there. It's years since I've been to Zermatt, but what a beautiful place.
It is.
Checking UK package holidays, not much from some of the big operators, except Ski Weekend are offering holidays all the way through to April. So check those out.
Well, that's a good choice, Dom. Yeah, special place. And I get the Park Lane link too. Very good. You know, blingy, lots of great views, right? I mean, amazing.
Okay, Rob.
Yeah.
So what about a bit of a Leicester Square? What do you think?
Leicester Square, right. Okay. I think, okay, it has to be teen.
Okay.
Right? Think big, think modern, lots going on all over the place. Teen is open until May the 5th for skiing. And because of its height, there should be plenty of snow all the way down to resort as well, even at that time of year. It's kind of a classic spring skiing destination, isn't it? Peak Retreats is a good bet to book a holiday there at that time of year. Check out peakretreats.co.uk, you know, through into April. So there you go. That's my Leicester Square.
I like
teen.
that. Teen. Yeah, teen's an obvious and a great choice for sure.
Yeah. Right. Your turn, Dom. Okay. The Angel.
Okay, that's not such an obvious one. I don't know what to say about the Angel, but I'm going to say, what about a St Anton? So that's a pretty cool and fun, quite relaxed in the springtime. Lots of après, not necessarily overly blingy, but pretty cool destination, I reckon.
Yeah, I get that link. Yeah, the Angel. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, lots going on over Easter and beyond. Crystal Ski Holidays, they run a special snow week from April 13th to the 21st. It's always a great vibe and a great place to be at the end of the season as staff. You know, they're going a bit crazy by that point, as you can imagine. Yeah, lots of partying, plenty of skiing. I've had people just out there in St Anton, and it looked absolutely great. Loads of partying, loads of après. Looked great.
Oh, yeah, I love that area. Okay, I'm just going to mention a bunch of other skiing areas in the Tyrol as well, around St Anton, that are really quite set up for spring skiing as well. Just a quick fire round of mentioning these areas. So I'm going to start with
strips that are on the same side as the Borders Angel. Yeah, these are all the same sort of. I can't remember all the ones that are on the same side of the board, but we're traveling down that side of the board now. Go for it.
We're heading around that kind of cool Islington area that's maybe a little bit understated, but actually when you go there, it's like,
this is good.
It's a bit more interesting than the West End, isn't it? There's a lot going on, right? People actually live there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hintertux, right? Offering pretty much year-round skiing, big vertical as well. Stubai, right? The closest glacier ski area to Innsbruck. Pretty cool option to stay there in town and travel up to skiing, to the skiing area.
And don't forget Solden as well. Pretty big glacier skiing area there. Starts early in October and ends late May. And so that's pretty cool. And Pitztal as well. Another one that's open from September to May most years. So two good ones there.
Yeah. And Pitztal probably slightly off the radar, but very good. I'm finally going to mention Kunatal. It's famous for its spring break UK snowboard test. I think they still do it there. It's a bit of a party. But yeah, nice skiing into May and a spectacular drive to get up there as well.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely. So loads of great ski areas in that region actually that are well suited for spring skiing, and I think we often forget that. I don't know for whatever reason, but yeah, great area for spring skiing for sure.
Yeah.
Right, Rob. So what about King's Cross Station? Over to you. What do you think? King's Cross Station.
Oh, thanks, Tom. King's Cross. Okay. Well, you know, King's Cross, not exactly known in the past as being upmarket or particularly nice, but the redevelopment of that area is incredible. And of course, the transport links are fantastic, right? So with that in mind, I'm going to go for Alpe d'Huez.
This feels really dangerous. I feel like we're skating on thin ice here.
Bear with me. Alpe d'Huez, perhaps a hidden gem.
Yeah.
There's something for everyone, right? Not overly expensive, lots of development, and a great transportation system. Fantastic lift system. The kind of resort where you might be a bit surprised when you get there in a good way, right? Yeah. A bit like King's Cross these days.
This, Rob. I think you've done a good job there. I think you've got us out of a hole there. I like that. It's definitely outrate Alpe d'Huez. Loads there for everybody. I think we covered them earlier on in the season, like different places to eat for all budgets, different places to stay for all budgets, whether you want a cheap old apartment somewhere or if you want a really smart hotel. Great skiing area as well, and loads of development going on. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah, good.
I'm impressed. You've managed to mix that like a banana skin quite nicely there, Rob. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big skiing area, big vertical, great sunshine, snow record, and those two things can go together. It is open really late into the season as well. It's closing this year on April the 21st. It is late. Again, Peak Retreats, they've got a good option for booking there, certainly up through into the Easter holidays.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, Dom, up next. Here's a challenge for you, though.
Here we go.
Here we go. Whitechapel Road.
Whitechapel. Why would you pick that off a Monopoly board? I mean, that's got to be the least conspicuous one on the road. It's not exactly Park Lane, is it, Rob, that you got?
No.
But you know what? Actually, Whitechapel's a pretty cool place. Property's way cheaper, let's face it, and it's just more interesting. So with that in mind, I'm going to go for one of my favourites, Peeler, Aosta Valley. Love the place. What do you think of that?
Good one. I like it. Yeah, that is a cool place. Slightly rustic in a good way. Great food, really nice skiing. Love it.
Yeah. And in the spring, great place to hang out because you can even stay in the old town of Aosta in the valley below. And, you really feel like you combine that city and skiing, heading down to the warm streets for a drink and some food later on in the afternoon. Yeah. But it is worth noting that ski area closed on April the 7th. So it's not a place for super late skiing. But for that Easter holiday this year, could be a good bet.
Yep.
If you check out interskiholidays.co.uk, that's who I went with for booking. I went there over New Year. Okay. They've been established. I think they've been doing it 30 or 40 years, I seem to remember. Massive amount of time they've been specialising in that area. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty cool Whitechapel Road area, actually. It's a great ski area. Love the food and coffee there. I could talk about Peeler for a long time, Rob, but we need to move on now with the Monopoly board. I've just thrown a six. Yeah, sure. I'm getting quite into this now. I'm getting quite excited. What about North America? So maybe we should mention a couple of places there because we know that the snow does last in some areas there. So thinking about Mammoth last season when you were there, so skiing well into July, that was pretty nice, wasn't it?
Wow, yeah, that was crazy and pretty rare, but they do get a lot of snow in some areas. Right, okay, I'm going to task you with a resort and I'm handing you, here we go, wait for it, Coventry Street. Take that one.
Coventry Street. You haven't picked any of the ones that I would have picked, but there you go. So Coventry Street, not so well known, but it's right in the heart of the West End where all the action is, I suppose. So understated, but so much to do and so much to see. You can have as much fun as you can find. So that's an easy one. What about Sun Peaks, British Columbia, where I've just been? It's really, not somewhere that everybody would immediately think of, but wow, what a great time I had out there.
Yeah, very clever, very clever. I'm into it. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was fantastic. You can get there from Vancouver or Calgary, and there's always good snow there, March and well into April as well, when the resort closed April 7th, but sometimes they stay open a little bit longer. That's a bit earlier than some of the European resorts, but the snow probably pretty good out there, I'd say. Loads of non-skiing activities as well. I mean, don't forget the axe throwing, Rob, and obviously don't forget the axe throwing.
I mean, obviously you'd do that in Coventry Street as standard, wouldn't you? A bit of axe throwing in Coventry Street.
Exactly. Why wouldn't
No, I love that link. It's kind of understated, but there's so much to do there, and not that many people might know about it. But think about it, you're right in the heart of all the action. That's very smart. I like that.
Yeah. So last but not least, Rob, how about? Come on, this is an easy one. I knew you'd get these ones. Bond Street. Got to be easy. Bond Street. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so many ski resorts can be hooked to Bond Street, right? I mean, think shopping. It's in Mayfair. Of course, just the name Bond. I mean, it's got skiing written all over it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go with, we'll stay in North America. I'm going to go with Park City and Deer Valley in Utah for this one.
Nice. Yeah. Why would you do that?
Well, okay. Firstly, there is no such thing as Bond Street, right? Even though it says Bond Street on the Monopoly board. It's either New Bond Street or Old Bond Street. Okay. So, of course, Park City and Deer Valley is two resorts. And let's face it, they are both very upmarket, especially Deer Valley.
Yeah.
Historic Main Street of Park City is also full of lovely shops, bars and restaurants.
Definitely.
It is a really good late season option. It's very easy to get to. So, like Bond Street these days, much easier to get to from Paddington or Reading on the Elizabeth line. So I kind of think it's an easy place to get to, like Park City, just a 35 to 40-minute drive from Salt Lake City Airport. Just imagine getting on the train at Reading and popping out the other side in a ski resort like Park City. Wouldn't that be so cool?
That would be so cool.
Loads to do off the slopes, really big skiing area, largest skiing area in the US, basically, and a great snow record too. So check out check out visitparkcity.com for more information on that.
Perfect, Rob. That is a great destination. Somewhere I haven't been, but I've seen that they've got some bucket loads of snow at the moment, so they seem to be having a good time of it. So, well, that wraps it up. And apart from the fact that we never got round to Pentonville Road, Rob, what about Pentonville Road?
Yeah, thank goodness for that. I guess if we did, we could go for that unknown ski resort in central Italy to put out a press release about it being shut because of lack of snow that sparked all this whole strand, including our friends at the insurance company that think all skiers are now playing Monopoly and not skiing.
Dear, poor people. Such a shame. Well, with that in mind, I'd just like to say happy skiing, Rob. All the resorts that are coming into big snowfall right now across the Alps. Plenty going on, I think.
Yeah, plenty going on. Plenty of skiing left in this season, Dom, don't you think? Plenty of spring skiing left all the way through into April. I'm certainly looking forward to making some plans.
Definitely. There's some fantastic places to ski as we've covered there right up into April time. And it's actually, I personally think it's an absolutely brilliant time to go to end up with beautiful sunshine. And actually last year there was some fantastic snowfall late season. So a great time to go. Rob, on that note, I've got a plane to catch. I'm off.
You got a plane to catch. Lucky you. I mean, if St Pancras was on the Monopoly board, then we could have both jumped on a virtual train to the Alps right now. But it is not. Obviously, when they made Monopoly, they did not, have the vision to think that St Pancras could in any way be a significant place in London. But little did they know that thousands and thousands of skiers would leave London from St Pancras station to head to the Alps.
That. Maybe we should start up a new game called Skiopoly.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah. You heard Skiopoly.
Yeah. I mean, just the thing is, what would be the most expensive ski resort on the Monopoly board to buy? And then what would be the cheapest one? Oh. I mean, actually, I suppose both of those things have a lot of marketing value to ski resorts, don't they? I mean, you could say we're the most expensive for great reasons, and others could say, yeah, we're the cheapest, but there's a lot of opportunity, right? Yeah. So I like that idea. Let's do it.
Right. With that in mind, Rob, all the best and enjoy your spring skiing. Next week, we'll have a full episode where we are covering all of our usual news, resort spotlight, bucket list destinations, the best snow and the best places to ski right now, all to come next week, Rob. In the meantime, have a good week.
You too. Thanks, Dom. Cheers.
Mais non, talkie-walkie.
Pretty sure it's called a walkie-talkie, mate.